At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce to you today's guest speaker, First Sergeant Mark Brady. First Sergeant Mark Brady joins us from the Arkansas Army National Guard, RRB. He enlisted into the Arkansas Army National Guard on October 21st, 1997, with Bravo Company's 2nd and 153rd Infantry in Augusta, Arkansas. He served on the following deployments and state missions: Operation Southern Watch, Multinational Forces and Observers Mission, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Hurricane Katrina, Southwest Border Mission, and Operation Iraqi Freedom. In 2009, First Sergeant Brady found a home in RRB. He shaped the organization by implementing the team leader motto in Arkansas. His previous achievements are top team for fiscal year 2018, top team fiscal year 2019, and top platoon fiscal year 21. Without further ado, I present to you First Sergeant Mark Brady.
Good morning, SQI4 graduates. What a wonderful time for you to graduate this school. So the good thing about SQI4, it gives you that institutional training, right? You already checked that block. So what I want to talk to you about today is the operational training, from actually doing the job. So one of the things I learned was lead generation. The reason why most recruiters fail is due to lead generation. They don't go out there and set up a high school presentation and capture all these leads. Now, so when you find yourself out there in your first months, second months, third months, recruiting is you gotta be resilient. It's up and down, it's up and down. So what happens, we start struggling and we say, oh, NCOIC, the reason I'm struggling, I don't have any leads. I don't have any leads. So then the NCOIC, they usually come back and they say, you have plenty of leads. They're all in Recruiter Zone, right? Thousands of leads. But then we come back and we say, oh, but they're not good leads. They're not good leads, they're old leads. You have to learn one thing. It is your job to lead generate. Your job. So, what I mean again by that is Recruiter Zone, that's free generation. It's provided to you. It's free. It's not free, somebody pays for it, but you don't. SASFABs, that's free generation. Granted, you can go set it up, with the school and the MEPS station and everything else, but that's free generation. It's provided to you. So when you wake up and during that month, you're like, hey, I got plenty of leads coming in. I got this SASFAB. Well, that SASFAB is a bunch of 11th grade, 16-year-olds. How does that help you at this time in the month of September? It doesn't. And then we come back to what we know. We start having some self-doubt, some excuses like, man, all these leads and I did all this work and nothing came from it. It's free generation. What did you generate? That's your job. Every month, I want you to think back to this day. Every month, you need to lead generate somehow, some way. Capture your own leads. Then everything else is extra. The SASFABs, the Recruiter Zone stuff, referrals. Every sales industry, we want referrals, right? We want to be so great that one day we don't have to recruit, we just have all these referrals coming through. But no, because the moment you just live and you think that you're going to have all these referrals, that 1 month that you're private doesn't come through for you and you don't receive a referral, you'll be standing there thinking, what went wrong? Because it's your job to lead generate. All that stuff should be extra. Make sense? All right, now, the other thing I want to talk about is time management. That's where we get in trouble with this job. NGR 601-1, market timing 6-4 teaches us what market we should be in. You studied that, right? Okay, it's a real thing. I've been in recruiting for a long time, and guess what? I just went over that reg not too long ago. You always got to do that from time to time. But here's what happened. In the famous words of retired Larry Rankin, Command Sergeant Major, he always said, tell a story. Now I had a recruiter. Man, has a great work ethic. Just will go work from sun up to sundown, weekends, holiday. I could probably call him on Christmas and he's ready. So 1 month, he got some of that free generation. Man, he's happy. Got that SASFAB list hit. This other SASFAB list hit. So what does he do? He runs out to the high school. He starts pulling them all out of class because this little country school allows you to do that. Sits down, has all these appointments. Then he wakes up and he says, Sergeant Brady, I don't know what happened. I don't understand it. I had 40 appointments this month, but I don't have an enlistment. Like, this isn't making sense. I said, it makes perfect sense. You did the one thing I told you not to do, work in the wrong market. This is like during the month of September. This is during the month of September. Market timing teaches us, don't go after the juniors. And then people, they feel a certain kind of way, so what do they say to you? They go, well, so you're telling me that I'm not supposed to put in a 17-year-old that's qualified, that's a junior right now, if they can go? That's not what I'm telling you. There's anomalies. Sure, put that guy in, that girl, put them in. But don't go and find yourself seeking that market. Because market timing says not to do that, and for the reason, because they're 16. It's their first look at the military, the first time they've ever ran into a recruiter that says, hey, 11th grader, you want to join? They still got to go home, talk to mommy and daddy. And once they get home, mommy and daddy's like, oh, I haven't even heard of this before. I've never even heard of this. We got to think about this. And that's what it tells you. But he spent all this time chasing these 11th graders, worked his tail off, but couldn't enlist them. Pulled them all out of class, didn't do lead refinement, didn't call them on the phone because that's uncomfortable. Show up to the school only to pull this person out. Oh, yeah, you're 16. Only to pull this person out. Oh, you're a little overweight. Pull this person out. So that's the time management piece of it. Work in the right market. The other time management piece is work more quality. Have you heard that before? All right, yeah, it's a real thing. So let me tell you, it's something about human nature. When we start getting rejected, guess what we want? We want a yes. We want a yes. We want a yes bad. If I'm told no 10 times, I want a yes, and I don't care who it's by or whatever. So then you wake up and you'll find yourself doing this. Oh, I got an appointment tomorrow. Matter of fact, I got 2. Aren't you excited? Well, how old are they? Well, they're 16, but they're going to turn 17 here in about 4 months. First to contact, first to contract, so let me get to them and start talking to them now. It sounds right, doesn't it? It sounds like a real thing. And it is. But the problem is when you wake up the whole month and you conducted 15 appointments, and out of those 15, 4 were 16, another 4 was overweight people you was trying to help lose weight. The other ones were the people who didn't pass the SASFAB, but yet you gave them some study material and told them to come back and see you. Now you wake up and you really only talk to just a few eligible people. Spend more of your time talking to qualified, eligible people. And I promise you on the time management side, it'll get better. Third thing, next actions. Did y'all talk about next actions at recruiting school? Right? It's a real thing. That's the hardest thing for people to do. Imagine if you went to go buy a car. You go up there, you sit down, the sales rep's like, man, so you like this truck? Yeah, I do. So do you like the payment I got you? Payment's on point. All right, well, I tell you what, just let me know. And then you leave there and you're like, man, I like the truck, I like the payment, I don't know what's going on. Why didn't he sell me a truck? This is a real thing, this happens. Same way with a job interview. You go to a job interview and you sit there and you're like, the person says, hey, do you like the salary? Absolutely, salary's wonderful. Do you like our core values here at this company? I think it's great. All right, well, just let us know. These are real things. Don't find yourself doing that. Don't find yourself doing that, because it'll happen. You'll get down to that final moment. Did you like the presentation? Oh, the benefits are great. Okay, and your family's on board? Oh, family's been wanting me to do this for years. Well, you're qualified. All right. And then it's like we get this little fear inside of us. And once we get that fear, we're waiting. How am I going to ask this person to go join to serve our country? And it's tough. It's tough. It's not tough for all. Some people just, they go straight for it. But others, especially when you're new, you start like, man, I'm about to bring it. I'm about to bring it. I'm excited. It's going to be my first enlistment, my second enlistment, my third enlistment. I just hope they say yes. I don't want to mess this up. This is my chance. But you have to ask. Now you can go with the hard close. You could say, all right, so you like everything? Oh, yeah, I like everything. All right, well, stand up. Raise your right hand. Let's see if they say yes or no. Now, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Some people do. Go with the soft close. Well, you know what? Just go home, talk to your parents about it. I know you want to join. It's a big decision. Think about it. You know, when's your next day off? That's a soft close. Let me just tell you this. Make your job easy. Remember this. Can you say the words next action? Can you say them? Let's say it. Let's hear it. Next action. All right, so here we are. We're down there. Benefits good? You like them? Oh, absolutely, I love them. Man, this is great. I tell you what, next action. That's all I got to say. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry about it. Just next action. You got to take a practice test. Here you go. Next action, you got to take a podcast. Next action, we got to get your packet built, get you down to MEPS. Naturally, as people, we think, man, I'm not trying to be a salesperson and be too pushy. That's not being pushy. That's telling them the next step. That's what people want to know. They want to know the next step. Just tell them the next logical step. You got to do this, you got to do that. And if you're going too fast for them, or if they're not completely bought in, they'll let you know. They'll let you know, 100%. They'll just say, hey, that's not going to work. So just say the words next action and then get that next action. The last thing I want to tell you, ADRP 6-22 teaches us to be an adaptable leader. Does it not? All right? Past couple years in recruiting, it's been tough. We've had all these barriers to overcome. Now, we can sit there and we can have all this self-doubt. We can have excuses, but the right answer is to adapt and find a way. That's what leaders do. That's what each of you need to do. You find yourself struggling, don't come up with all these excuses. Well, I can't get into the school. Well, I can't do this. I can't do that. Find a solution. Find a way. Adapt. That's what leaders do. Well, I appreciate your time today, SQI4, and congratulations.
First Sergeant, thank you for those informative and inspiring words.